Hello friends, welcome to GK Sports India YouTube channel, and this is a very special interview. Former India player, he was also the head coach of the Indian women's cricket team not long ago, also of the Tamil Nadu Ranji Trophy team, of the India under-19 men's cricket team around the time when Virat Kohli, among others, were coming up the ranks. He was also coach at the National Cricket Academy, which is now renamed the Center of Excellence, an astute television commentator, columnist, author of at least two books, The Winning Sixer and the other one, The Lords of Wankhede, co-authored with R. Kaushik, a noted cricket journalist, has his own YouTube channel, an entrepreneur, motivational speaker, dwelling more on leadership. So, WV Raman, the man who is popular among cricketers, young and old, who I believe has one of the finest cricketing brains in India, WV Raman has agreed to come onto this channel and talk on the ongoing Women's World Cup. Over to WV Raman. WV, the Women's World Cup is around the halfway stage. How in your eyes has the World Cup gone so far?
Yeah, like I always say, it could have been better, and at the same time, it could have been worse also. But the fact of the matter is that the girls have started off well. Had a couple of good victories, and then, of course, as you would expect, they were challenged by better teams in the competition. And unfortunately, the opposition sides seized the key moments well enough to create setbacks for Team India.
That's right. So India opening their campaign against the two subcontinent teams, but then, like you mentioned, tougher opposition. Is that an area of concern, not being able to live up to the challenges from Australia and even South Africa?
It's not definitely a concern. It's just that things didn't go their way when it mattered. And you also have to give credit to the sides chasing and coming out of pressure situations to go on to win the game. And that's what makes this format challenging for the simple reason you have to play a different side in every game of the competition in the league phase. And then you need to be able to adapt to meet the demands or the challenges that will be posted by different teams. And as a result, flexibility is a key factor, and even the approach has to be different against different sides. So that's why this is a fantastic format, and all the teams will be tested. It's not just India. But unfortunately, if you look at it, India has suffered a couple of setbacks against South Africa and Australia. But that is to be expected because Australia, obviously, they know how to win this tournament. They know how to win world championships, and they have a side which is also capable of overcoming any tough situation.
What should other teams need to be doing to defeat, especially Australia? Because whatever situation, they seem to be finding their way back into the game, and like you said, clinching those key moments. And we had somebody who can stay till the end, back deep, and ensure that the team is on the winning track.
If you look at it, this Australian side does have a little bit of vulnerability about it. It's not as solid as the teams we've seen before, for the simple reason they don't have a solid uh, match-winning batter in Meg Lanning, and also captaincy skills are obviously quite phenomenal. But again, the fact also remains that there's a bit of a problem as far as the middle order is concerned because they repose their faith in Talia McGrath, who's not been in the best of form. Beth Mooney, of course, is the linchpin of their batting unit. And Ellis Perry has also have been having fitness problems, and that also is an area of concern for Australia. And it's only against India that Lisa Healy has come back to form. Of course, it's the right time as well. You don't peak too early, and there is a little bit of vulnerability. You even the bowling lineup, if you look at it, their medium paces are not really being as effective as they are when there's a little bit of zip on the surfaces and also there's a little bit of lateral movement.
Last weekend, we saw two captains coming good. Nat Ziver for England against, and of course, Alyssa Healy. Do you see India's Harmanpreet Kaur coming good in the coming weekend against England? Because captains have usually done well for the other countries, isn't it? And it's time that Harmanpreet fired with her bat in this World Cup.
It's not that she should start firing because other captains are amongst us. It's just that she's a match winner by herself, and as a result, she needs to be in top nick in a major competition like this for India. And she's not obviously contributed as much as she should have by now. But then again, if you look at it, if she starts getting back into form at the halfway stage and continues it till the end of the tournament, whenever that is, I think India will definitely benefit and hopefully she'll get back into a groove soon enough because there's a lot of cricket to be played and India can still go on to qualify in the top four and once you get to the top four it's anybody's game.
Is it the pressures of a home World Cup that is getting into Harmanpreet Kaur?
I don't think it's the external pressure that's acting on her. It's just that she gets a little bit keyed up when there's a major competition such as the World Cup, and that's the reason she's perhaps not delivered as much as people expect her to. It's just a case of her creating a little bit of extra pressure when it comes to delivering during the World Cup. Enthusiasm is a good thing, but again, anything in excess is not beneficial to the individual. And we all know that she has the experience, she has the skill sets, and it's just a matter of her making optimum use of her skill sets and the experience that she's got at her disposal.
Among the matches that we saw India, it was some of the top order batters getting starts, not making it big. Openers, Smriti and Pratika getting starts, but not someone who stayed till the end. The middle order and the top order. What is going wrong with the top order? Because we need somebody who has to be staying long till the end. And often we have seen the second half bailing the team out, like Richa Ghosh and Deepthi Sharma and Sneha Rana, for example.
I think first of all, we all have to realize that the template has changed a lot because if you look at the numbers that's being churned out by the sides in a 50 over innings is on the up and up because we're getting to see 300s being scored rather on a regular basis, which means that you cannot stick to the template that was perhaps effective, that was perhaps the appropriate one in the years gone by. Yes, start should be converted into substantial scores by the top order batters. But again, the fact of the matter is that uh, I always maintain that the runs that are scored by the lower order batters will make the difference. And in that regard, I think India has done well. We've seen Sneh Rana, we've seen Amanjot Kaur, we've seen Deepthi Sharma, we've seen Richa Ghosh get runs in the tail end of the innings, which has proved to be decisive, and that's exactly what we need to hope will continue. And as far as the opening pair is concerned, they've been tireless in providing good starts in the bilateral series in the last 1.5 years. It's just that they didn't get their act together in the opening couple of games. But again, they delivered when it mattered against Australia, and that's a good platform they set up. If at all there's a bit of a problem with the Indian batting unit, it's just that the middle overs are not being utilized when they get off to a good start, and that's been the problem. The reason for that is that the experienced campaigners like Harmanpreet Kaur and Jemima Rodrigues have yet to find their full form. And when that happens, I think the Indian batting lineup will be quite formidable and it has got as good a depth as any other side in the competition, if not better.
Richa Ghosh batting at number 8 before she was promoted to number 6 against Australia. We're surprised with her batting position, or she's perfect for that finishing of things like she did against South Africa and Australia.
These tactical decisions are based on solid rationale. By that I mean that the team management knows exactly what their plans are and the kind of roles they have allocated to the players, and hence these moves. It's all right to have a chat about them, but the point is that whatever we tend to talk about those moves will more or less be conjecture rather than anything uh, with merit in a manner of speaking. It's just that we tend to try and indulge in conjecture, but I'm sure that the team management would have thought long and hard, and they would have had a solid reason for sending somebody like Richa Ghosh at number 8. And obviously, if they don't have a rationale, then this is a different matter altogether. But I, for one, would tend to believe that the team management would have definitely discussed all the possible roles that they can allocate to each member of the team in different situations. And that's exactly, I think, what they're doing. They're not sticking to a standard template here in terms of the individual role or the tactics for that matter.
And talking about the lineup that India has had so far, Renuka Singh Thakur has played only one match. We are surprised that she has not been in the starting lineup for all the matches, and the one that she played was only because Amanjot Kaur was ill. Would you have had her in the first 11 automatically?
See, when you have options like Amanjot Kaur and Renuka Thakur, Arundhati Reddy, you're talking about who's the most craftiest of them all when you're going to sit and decide about the final playing 11. The fast bowling department is always going to be perhaps the Achilles heel for the Indian side because it's very difficult for somebody to fill Julian Goswami's boots. And for some reason, better known to the selectors, they're been uh, they've been ignoring Shika Pandey for quite some time now. But then there's no point in talking about the persons there that are not a part of the squad. But coming back to the options that they have, I think the problem is that they are not extremely sure about who can give you 10 real good overs amongst the medium pacers. I think that's been a bit of a problem. And that being the case, they need to definitely review their bowling options. They also need to try and sit and work out what the best bowling unit can be. Because if you're going to play five bowlers, you got to have five bowlers who can deliver day in and day out with a lot of consistency. Because if one or two bowlers have a reasonably ordinary day, then the team is going to be in big problems. And this is something that they have encountered because the opposition batters have targeted the right bowlers at the right time to ensure that they did not allow the required run rate to go beyond manageable proportions.
This newcomer Kranti Gaud, she took 6 wickets in England, came with a lot of promise. But you like the make of Kranti Gaud and what she has been doing, a regular starter so far in the matches so far this World Cup.
She's feisty, she's combative, she's competitive, and she's also looking good. And she's got perhaps all the elements that go on to make up a fast bowler. And she's definitely somebody who's going to be around for a while. And the thing is that they've been somehow unable to work out the bowling combination because Renuka Thakur was out of the side due to injury. She's come back, but they also have to have the faith in her that she could.
You
Yeah, I
so
think that is. I think that is what is going to pose some challenges in the remaining part of the tournament because they got to really try and think hard about the way they're going to formulate the bowling unit because if they're going to reinforce the bowling department, they got to sacrifice on a batter. If they have to sacrifice on a batter, who is it going to be? And if they sacrifice a batter, there got to be changes made in the batting order. Who's going to go where? It's going to create a lot of pose a lot of questions to the team management, and yet they have to take it head on. They can't try and say, okay, we'll try and manage. Let's see how it goes. At the same time, they got to also ensure that they don't resort to knee-jerk reactions because they lost a couple of games. Their faith in their decision making will be tested. They'll be made to feel vulnerable. They'll also get to hear a lot of things being spoken and written about what they are doing and what the team has done so far. But I think they got to try and live in a bubble and try and have faith in their own decision making.
Does this put so much pressure on the spin trio? We have seen Sneh Rana go for runs, Diti Sharma in and out, and young left-arm spinner Sri Charani, though Radha Yadav has not got a game so far. Does it put more pressure on the spinners to contain and also take wickets?
See, there's going to be pressure in an international game, regardless of whether it's a bilateral series or whether it's a part of the World Cup campaign. There's going to be pressure when you play international cricket, and it's all about how to handle the pressure and overcome pressure situations that will decide how good a player is. And I think what is primarily happening now is that the focus on the women team is more than what it was in the years gone by, in the last few years. So there will be a lot of discussions about how they're performing. There will be even a lot of criticism about some of them not performing up to the mark. And this is something they got to get used to. This is something they got to try and ignore and carry on with faith in their own skill sets, in their own approach, in their own work ethics, and also go on to play the remaining part of the World Cup with a lot of self confidence, because that's what is going to really fetch them the desired results. It's important for them not to pay any attention to all the noise that one gets from the outside.
WV, you have coached this the women's team, and most of them that you coached are still playing. How was it coaching the women's team, and how was your experience? And you also coached them in a World Cup. Was it different from coaching in a bilateral compared to the World Cup per se?
Yeah, World Cup, there's a lot more focus and a lot more people try and relentlessly put it into the heads of the players that they're playing a World Cup, good chance to win the World Cup, whole countries looking at them. And I think, it's a bit of an annoyance in a way, because everybody knows it's a World Cup. There's no point in repeatedly nagging players about the World Cup being important. And this is sometimes a bit of a problem, and it also can be tiresome for the players. And I think that will be a lot more because it's played at home. Because wherever they go, in the airports, in the hotels, in the restaurants, on the ground, wherever they go, they'll all be told, "Oh, we're all rooting for you," kind of thing. And yes, the fans are enthusiastic. Everybody says it in a well-meaning way, but again, the point is that it all adds to the kind of the pressure that there already is when they play a main marquee tournament. And that is something that people also have to understand, because there's no point in relentlessly driving home the same point.
What did you tell your players to not focus on what is being said about, but to focus on the World Cup, on the game, and do their skills right?
I never use the term World Cup. I never use the word tournament. I've only said the game. We only spoke about the game. We didn't talk about World Cup. We didn't talk about even, trying to uh, draw attention to the fact that we were playing in a major tournament. All we are talking about is the game tomorrow or the game yesterday kind of thing. That's a phraseology, because sometimes the wrong words come to the forefront, and then it's not really helpful when the wrong words come to the forefront when you are involved in a pressure situation. So now what you talk, how you talk, also assumes significance on the eve of a match or during the tournament.
And to sign off, WV, your four semifinalists, India should be making it to the semifinals. Considering though they are in fourth position as we speak now, India making it to the semifinals, and your four semifinals and the team that will make it to the finals.
I thought Sri Lanka was perhaps going to be the dark horse in this tournament, but they've not really sort of stuck to their task. I think it is going to be four amongst the usual five that we always tend to follow, and that's how this World Cup is going to pan out as well. Even at least if you go by the matches that have been played so far, you're looking at four from the the following five: India, Australia, England, New Zealand, and South Africa.
Right, and perhaps England and Australia may be thinking that they've been robbed of a point each due to the rain abandonment against Sri Lanka, or is it Sri Lanka lucky that they have got one extra point against the tougher opponents? How do you look at this as such? From
These are all things that will happen in a tournament, and this is something that is better ignored at this point by the respective sides, and they got to try and do whatever best they can do and see how things pan out towards the end of the league stage. If they're going to be, stuck in this particular kind of situation, or if they're going to be only harping on this, they're not helping themselves.
Thank you very much, WV. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this, and so very kind of you. Always an education for me, talking to you, listening to you, talking to you cricket, and anything outside cricket also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jiku, for having me, and it's my pleasure to be a part of your channel.
And it's my honor. Thank you.